Godwin Babake. Give me your opinions about why you think Chelsea, European players are boycotting the transfer to Chelsea.
Well, Babake is a Chelsea fan.
No, you first. You cannot pass the baton to Babake. I'm asking
you giving
the honor of telling us.
You're trying to mock me and you're telling me you're giving me the
honor. How did they mock you?
What kind of honor?
I think, first things first, the wrong thing that I think Chelsea are doing is allowing, I say allowing like I say there's someone that is higher than Todd Boehly. The wrong thing Chelsea is doing right now is having Todd Boehly as the person in charge of practically almost everything right now.
Negotiations.
It is one thing to be a club owner. It's another thing for you to be good with negotiations. Now, I think I was chatting with Babake, was it yesterday? Yes, and I was like, I think it would have been easier for some of these players to come to this club when Lampard was the manager, not necessarily because he's a great manager, but because of the legacy he has made for himself as a player. Now, you look at the likes of Zidane coming to meet you and you want to sign and you're like, wow, when I was a young kid, I watched this man and it was phenomenal. Lampard himself, Andre Pirlo. Sometimes it's easier for these players, for these legends, football legends, now turned managers, it's easier for them to get some signings because of the beautiful career they've built for themselves in the game. But now, who is that instrumental factor that can attract a player to Chelsea? Todd Boehly is the club owner, fine and good. But how is he negotiating with these players? How is he negotiating with these clubs? Is he a good negotiator? That's the first thing. Is he pitching philosophies that are buyable by these players? I think right now, if you ask me, the only attracting figure in Chelsea right now is Thomas Tuchel. For me, that's my opinion. And I think it will be even be much easier for Tuchel to talk to players and get them. But right now, who is doing the talking? Todd. And is he talking right? It's one thing to talk, it's another thing to talk right. It's another thing for you to talk with much influence. Eriksen, while coming to Man U, he spoke about his conversation with Erik ten Hag. I think Chelsea might have an edge in the transfer if there is now more of Tuchel involved in the conversation with the players and with the people that they want to get.
As to Todd.
Yes, but right now, with Todd doing everything, he might be a good club owner, having great intentions, being ready to put out the money to get the players. But as long as he's not doing the negotiations rightly, I mean, there's no Marina anymore. There's no Peter Cech. These people are out. So it's going to be, maybe we have to go to the school of negotiations. I don't know, man. I really don't know about that.
But I think I'm a little confused because I don't think Todd Boehly has the negotiating skills to talk to these players one-on-one. You should actually have somebody who does these negotiations. But what do you think?
Okay, I don't want to come from the angle that
Godwin came
from. I'm going to take it from another
As
angle.
a Chelsea fan,
it's really. I don't want to say this. This did not just start now. That's one thing we must understand. This whole thing about players in Europe not wanting to come to Chelsea did not start now. I'll take you back to in 2018 when Alisson Becker was still playing with Roma. You understand? And he ended up winning the goalkeeper of the season. Chelsea made an approach for Alisson Becker at that time because they really wanted. At that time, Peter Cech had left, and we did not really have any good replacement for Peter Cech. Chelsea actually approached Alisson Becker in that year, but he turned it down.
In 2018, Cech had left earlier now.
No. Is it 20? Yes, it's 2018 now.
Cech left in 2018.
I'm talking about Alisson Becker. I'm just saying that we did not have a replacement for Cech.
Okay.
We did not have a replacement for Cech. And we were still scouting. We were still scouting for a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Alisson Becker turned it down. And one of the things he said when he was asked why several years later when he decided, or maybe like a few years later when he joined Liverpool, he said when Chelsea came, he looked at the fact that Liverpool had won the Champions League a couple of times, much more than Chelsea. And
or any club in England, Liverpool,
you understand? At least more than Chelsea, who was the other team that wanted him. And that was one of the reasons that he wanted to be part of the history of Liverpool, given the fact that they've won more Champions League than Chelsea. And that's one of the reasons why he actually opted to go for Liverpool. You understand? Then let's go back to 2010. Neymar.
Okay.
When he was still in Santos,
right?
And he was about to make a very big move from Europe, South America to Europe. Chelsea also made a bid for Neymar. Neymar had even decided that he was going to come. But then Neymar and his father, other people, even Pelé called and told him that Chelsea wouldn't be a suitable club for him. So a lot of people wouldn't want to play for Chelsea. And this is the reason why most times I think it's a big problem, and that's one thing I think Chelsea really needs to handle right now. Now, Chelsea is one of the strongest clubs when it comes to scouting for young players in Europe. I don't think there's any club in Europe that has a more successful academy than Chelsea. Chelsea has a very, very good academy. In fact, you have tons of players in the academy, and at the end of or beginning of every season, you see most of these players, young players, being loaned out to several clubs. I don't think there's any other club in Europe that runs a very successful academy as much as Chelsea does. Now, but this is the problem. Every single time Chelsea has young players, they don't get to use them. They are all loaned out.
Loaned out, yes.
In fact, they are loaned out. I remember when Kenneth Omero was in Chelsea.
He was loaned out.
I can count how many times Kenneth Omero really played for the senior side. Played top flight football in Chelsea. He was practically loaned out most of the time. Not even players that are really good most of the time. Let's not even go from the academy side. Players that are playing top flight football, they just get an opportunity to play once, and after a while, they are being dusted. Look at Fikayo Tomori, for instance. He did well 2 seasons ago. Then all of a sudden, last season, he was not just loaned, he was sold to AC Milan.
Yes,
you understand? If we still have Fikayo Tomori, I'm not sure as Rudiger left, we'll be looking for an immediate replacement immediately. He would stand in because he would have learnt a lot. But even at that, Fikayo Tomori was still very much outstanding. So now, you don't think that other players and other clubs, mostly players and their agents, are observing these things? They see. They know that. They watch all these things. They know the history. They know a lot of things that has happened. And the other players who were in Chelsea, who leave, also come out later to talk about these things on the low key. So this is one of the major factors I think is affecting Chelsea, because players don't want to come to the club, and at the end of the day, they are not used. Or maybe when they don't get to put... Allow me now. I know you are so eager to express yourself. You are so eager, and that's why I wanted you to express yourself. So
okay, drop your point.
Now, that's one angle. You understand? Because this thing is not just one. It's not just. It's a whole problem, and the problem might diverse. You understand? So that's one angle. Now, he made a point about Todd Boehly now taking over and wanting to negotiate every business deal right now. I can even understand that. Why? You are now the major shareholder of the company, meaning you bought the major shares of the company, or you bought the company. Now, because you spent a lot of money into buying the club, you understand? You feel like, okay, I'm not willing and ready to throw away unnecessary money right now. The only money I want to spend is just for buying players and the money I want to use to run the club. But any other backroom staff or any other major stuff that I think that I can do, because Todd Boehly sees himself as a businessman. True. He has been a negotiator when it comes to business for a very long time in the American market. Now he's doing it in England. And he just wants to exercise that right. He sees himself as a new investor when it comes to football in the Premier League. So he wants to use that opportunity to, exercise that kind of power, no more people. But then it's also affecting the club right now. Because I tell you, the lady that left, I'm trying to recall.
Marina.
Yeah,
Marina, yes.
If Marina was still in negotiation with a lot of these players, I don't think it will happen. She knows all these people. They've been doing this work for a very long time, so they know their way around it. They would probably know how to discuss with these players, know what to do. And so for me, I think this is one major problem that Chelsea is doing. And right now, Barcelona now decided to become the thorn in our flesh. You understand? Barcelona doesn't have the money. They are collecting all the players that Chelsea is going for.
We don't get money, but we get doings.
All the players that...
If we don't spend money, we'll spend doings.
Let me say what I need to say, Joe. They don't have money now. They are going after every player that Chelsea is poaching, and they are buying them. Now you, Chelsea, that has the money, the players are not coming to you. And now, so I'm looking at Barcelona at the sideline, just folding their arms and just telling your boy, forget, we get doings.
We get doings.